in Singapore in 1972 with a monkey who had a bottle full of a strange potion. What was interesting about the monkey to me was not just that he was a monkey and he wanted to hang out with me, but he had this ruffled beard with strange teeth. I was fascinated by his teeth. And I said, "Teeth?" He said, "Teeth." And he reached around and bit me on the arm. At first I was upset with the monkey, but then I realized that it was a love bite.
His cockiness just kind of grew, started doing all kinds of outrageous things nobody else would do, bear wrestling, got a name for himself, realized he could make some money doing these kinds of outrageous acts, went to the vaudeville stage, became an illusionist. Jack the Defier of Death was how he billed himself one night, promised his audience he'd take them all to hell and back. And the show got a little out of hand. The smoking lamp caught a curtain and the whole theater went up in flames. Jack caught the first train out, left the town burning to the ground, and fled.
Xena, the Princess of Darkness, was spending her nights with some of her companions of the darkness, the skeletons and skulls and hanging spirits, when they all wondered how it came about that she became the Princess of the Darkness. So she looked through her crystal ball of darkness, held out in the hand of one of the skeletons, to recall the day when she was young and didn't have a care in the world. Life was beautiful. She loved to visit the local river and waterfall and swim in the clear water.
Two insects are not struggling with each other, they are communicating information. This black insect here is telling this gold insect about this flesh rotting on the ground below the limb of the tree, and suggesting that we could both go down and have a little snack. Now, on the rotting flesh of whatever animal it is that the insects are saying to each other, "Looks like dinner," in this animal's remains are the karma of the evil white cattle murderer. Now, the evil white cattle murderer believes that the beautiful butterfly is more like what his soul genuinely is. The card that looks like the medieval church with Tinkerbell and Pain is telling him the opposite, that in fact he will suffer for all eternity. The female reproductive organs symbolize rebirth. That's the end of my story.
Jonathan and his family were sitting around on a Sunday evening listening to the radio to a Grand Ole Opry music broadcast when suddenly they hear that there's been a terrible fire on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. They hear about people are using their telescopes to try to get a glimpse of the big fire, and their scientists are trying to discover who has set this raging fire that's taken over the city. All clues seem to point to Janet, who has very dark eyebrows, and that's why they think she did it, because they found the eyebrow Traces at the scene of the crime. But meanwhile, no one notices the mysterious aging gentleman with a creased fedora fleeing the scene. The man runs and he's escaped. He thinks he's escaped everybody's view. But Biff has spied the old man leaving the scene and chases him into the woods, across the Brooklyn Bridge into Brooklyn and the Brooklyn Narrows. Meanwhile, Janet's husband is beside himself because she's been put in jail, and he just can't stand the thought of her being accused, and he never thought she would set a fire like this. So he decides to swim to Rikers Islands to save her, and he swims across the East River, dodging dead bodies and all sorts of chemicals. Finally, he reunites with her, and he provides an alibi that lets her escape from jail, and she's been through a lot. But they leave together and they drive away. They drive off, and as they drive off, they see a boy and a girl yelling and running through the rain, and they're pointing to an old man with a creased fedora.